Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. O my Guru gracious, I owe my all to you. Good evening, wishes and blessings to all of you. Today we are going to discuss on this topic. Will nuisance leave us? When we see the topic, we may be getting some additional questions within us, right? Will nuisance leave us? Whether nuisance will leave us or we should leave them. How it has to be happening? Are they coming to us? Or we ourselves created them? Or there is no nuisance at all, but we feel so. So a lot of questions on the topic itself, right? These are the points we will be discussing in the next half an hour time. Yeah, before going further, we need to understand what is nuisance, right? Because we should have a common understanding what exactly the term nuisance means when we are going to analyze further about nuisance, right? So generally we face a lot of different situations, right? When something is happening which is not pleasant to us or unexpected things giving a negative feeling to us. And also when it is happening repeatedly, we can term that as nuisance, right? Because there are some other words like problems, miseries, or challenges. So those kind of things differing from nuisance when we are seeing them repeatedly. So when we have some kind of negative or unpleasant experience repeatedly happening, then we will feel that as we will term that as nuisance, right? I think it is clear for all of us, right? So that is why the word nuisance is taken in this topic. So in this context, we are going to analyze nuisance from this point of view. So that has to be clear to all of us before analyzing further about that. And when we talk about the problems, disturbance, troubles coming in our life, it could be like prolonged pain. We all know that when it is prolonged for a longer period, then it becomes disease, right? So in the same way, when it is bothering us repeatedly, whether it is physically or mentally or to our life or threatening our life itself, then it is called as a nuisance. This is what we are arriving to. And also before moving further on that, we thought of listing out some kind of variety of categories of nuisances also. One typical example we can say when we talk about the categories, it could be like the nuisance which is created due to our own habit, right? It could be like a small level, like some kind of food which we prefer to avoid, but due to the habit, we'll be ending up again having that food and getting some kind of ailment. For example, we are getting some kind of stomach upset by taking a particular sweet, for example. And we will be going through the miserable situation, and we will commit that we will not be taking that again. But in a week time, the strength or the decision, what we made, the strength of that decision will get gradually diluted. And again, we will be ending up in the same situation of going through the miserable period. When that repeats, then we are calling that as nuisance. So this category is called as like a self-nuisance. Maybe by unwanted habits or thoughts, we keep getting this kind of nuisance to us, which is bothering repeatedly for us. The next category could be like social nuisance, because we are all interacting with many people around us, right from our home with our family members and going to the office. Then we have some kind of colleagues on the way. We used to meet our neighbors or friends. There could be some kind of disturbance caused by this category also. For example, when we are traveling by, one of our old friend used to share about his own experience. When going for shift duty by the company bus, while going, he used to do the meditation in the bus itself. And while coming back, he will have a good sleep so that some kind of rest period can be covered in that travel period itself. So this is his routine for a few years. All of a sudden, in the shift bus, one new friend moved to that shift, and he started sitting next to him and keep talking on innumerable topics, right? When you are sitting and traveling, topics will keep on coming for people, right? So he used to talk on different topics every day, and this friend couldn't do the meditation also and couldn't have the rest also, as he used to do for many years before. So this is like a new kind of nuisance for him, right? When it repeats, like it is not one day, and when it is seen for a month, then this friend will feel like a nuisance. So this is falling under this category, social nuisance. And the next category, we can say that like when many number of people are affected by some kind of nuisance, a public nuisance, we can say that like due to, one example could be by natural calamity. When something is affecting, so the consequence will be faced by many number of people, many members of the society. So that is seen as a nuisance. When it is repeatedly happening, then people will feel that as a nuisance. So that is what we are categorizing as public nuisance. So just to understand about the way or the set of experiences, negative experiences, which are being seen in our life. This is just for our understanding. It is listed. It is not from Maharishi or from Sky System. Just for our understanding, more understanding on the nuisance, these are all listed here. And the next one before, as we talked earlier, how we are going to handle all these kind of nuisance, whatever the category be, whether it is self-nuisance or social or public nuisance, whatever be the category, how we are going to handle them. It all depends like how we are seeing that, right? For some of the people, whatever the examples which we talk, it will be like not a kind of nuisance at all. The same example I will take, the friend who is having for a few years experience, and when a new friend came, the routines are affected. So he was seeing that as a nuisance, right? Probably another person may face that same situation and take that as a positive change. Okay, it's like we are utilizing, instead of wasting the time, we are utilizing by talking about some kind of events or news or current affairs, whatever we are getting some kind of information. So let us do the meditation in home itself. And when we go by bus, we can utilize that for this new experience, right? So it all depends on how we take it into us. The changed situation or whatever be the negative experience gone through repeated way, it all depends how you perceive that experience. So based on that approach change itself, half of the problem will be solved, right? Like the other set of example, like social nuisance. Some one more typical example I wanted to quote here when we are taking as an example, like how we perceive the same situation, right? I used to see a parent who is having very young children. There were 3 children in their home. They're all like 6 years, 4 years, and 2 years old. So these parents always used to complain about them. They do like numerous kind of naughty things in home, and they couldn't control. Whatever they say, they are not in control, and they are becoming like a big nuisance in home. And these parents used to always quote to us whenever we interact. They used to tell that we are expecting when they will grow up and become adults. This is what the complaint. At the same time, we have another friend who is also in the similar situation, having 3 children in home. They used to enjoy every moment of parenting, like taking pictures and video shooting the small things being done by every child, and sharing to their friends, relatives through social media and whatever the opportunities they have. And they used to enjoy every moment, and they used to share also. They used to share their feeling, like we wanted our children have to be in this age always. Like they have to be children forever. We enjoy the parenting and we are enjoying with them. We are praying they have to be in this age forever. See the controversial situation, right? The same situation, same children, same kind of experience, but one set of parents seeing them in a different manner and other parents perceiving it in a different way. So this is giving a good thought to us, right? So it all depends on us how we are taking that. So whenever we come across any kind of nuisance, if we consider that as a nuisance, before that we have to check whether it is really a nuisance, whether we will be able to enjoy that or no. So that is what the first approach change is required to us before going in deep with our practices and other kind of spiritual system, philosophical explanations. Okay, so this should be the first step to all of us. First of all, yeah, the nuisance, it is not reaching to us, and we are seeing them as a nuisance. And if possible, the same thing could be enjoyed by us also. So we have to change ourselves to as a first step in this. Then taking our sky practices support, so a little bit philosophically to understand about nuisance also. So when we need happiness in all moments in our life, so why do we create nuisance for ourselves? So that is what we have to understand a little bit about philosophical way of information, which is given through our system, simplified Kundalini yoga practices. So we all know that, right? We hear that all the events happening in our life is due to our cause and effect principle. It is our own deeds done earlier. It is not only from us, maybe from our parents or from all other forefathers up to single living beings are before that also, right? So all kind of imprints are available with us, which is creating some kind of experiences according to the nature of the imprints what we acquire. So just to emphasize that, so the nuisance are being created by us, right? So we should strongly understand that why that is happening because of us. So we heard in our system also there are three set of imprints, right? The Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Agamya karma. So these are three levels of imprints what we all have, every one of us have based on our own way of life. So the Sanchita karma is the set of imprints which are given to us at the time of birth itself. So there is a set of imprints given as a pre-stock to all of us from the day one, right? So after that, in our lifetime, whatever the deeds we do in our life, especially Maharishi is telling that from the age of 3, whatever the deeds we do, that is also creating some kind of imprints, and that is also being recorded within us in our genetic center. So that kind of imprints are termed as Prarabdha karma, which is happening within our lifetime. So these two set of imprints which are with us make us to do some kind of deeds, right? So it creates, based on the nature of the imprints which is available with us, that will be making us to respond to some kind of situation whenever we go through some kind of pleasure or pain, both the side, like positive or negative experiences. So particularly talking about the nuisance in today's topic of discussion. So when we are going through the negative experiences, so based on the nature of the imprints, we are going through that. So on that way, we have to strongly put in our mind that the nuisance or negative situations are created by our own deeds which were done earlier. So due to our imprints only, these are happening. And this has to be moved through like all other experiences. So first of all, first thing we have to accept, similar to the positive experiences, we have to accept whatever happening because the imprints, the nature of imprints are creating this kind of nuisance in our life. Since it is like a prolonged period or the repeated events, so this is affecting us. So that is the reason we should go to the next step. How can we manage these nuisance? And just another thought also, can we totally stop them? Nuisance coming in our life? Since our understanding is because it is happening due to our imprints. So as long as our imprints are there within us, until it has to be completely cleared, completely purified, our genetic center purification has to be 100% achieved, then only that is possible. There will be no challenge, no problem, no miseries, no nuisance in our life, and absolute pleasure will be seen all through our life. That is practically possible. Yes, it is possible, but not tomorrow or not within a year, right? So that is the reason we are all given with a long span of lifetime to clear all our imprints in our lifetime and then move out of our life after achieving the purification of our genetic center. That is what we are all striving for. So it is possible, but we have to put some kind of systematic practices. That is what our system is helping to do also. So how is our system helping to manage the nuisance? That also we will just kind of discuss to have more clarity on that part also. Again, as we all know, we are all the practitioners of simplified Kundalini Yoga. We are starting the practices with simplified physical exercises, followed by the meditation and the introspection practices, which is helping for our mind, and also one unique practice, Kayakalpa Yoga, which is supporting for the life force. So when we talk about these practices, so the physical exercises are helping us to avoid a set of nuisance, right? Due to some kind of physical ailment, whatever we are going through, repeatedly we are feeling some kind of pain that is bothering us as a nuisance, then that will be eradicated by this kind of systematic rhythmic exercise practice being done once we learned all through our lifetime. So the simplified physical exercises are helping us to not to have any kind of physical ailments, first step, right? Because the physical body is the structure, which is external structure, helping our inner life force to live in and to have the spiritual progress all through the lifetime also. So the physical body is protected by this first level of practice. Then the second kind of practice, which we are going through, is meditation and introspection, which is helping our mind. So through our thoughts or some kind of habits that also being managed by our mind, right? So when the mind is strengthened or purified by this kind of practices, definitely we are getting some kind of relief from those category of nuisances also, which are being created by mind itself. Then the life force, life force is like further strengthening, which is improving the quality of our biomagnetism, which ends with the life energy itself. Life force energy is strengthened by the Kayakalpa Yoga, which we all know that also. So that way also it is like a physical as well as mental support is being given to us. That is also being done by our practices. And also the part of introspection, lot of social related harmonization is achieved. So the social related nuisance, which we talked in that example, right? Probably if you are strongly believing that the nuisance has to go away, then when your thought force is strengthened, automatically that friend will move to another ship and you will be enjoying your routine again of doing the meditation and sleeping while coming back. See, this is all possible again by doing a proper way of introspection practices. So all the tools are given to us through our system, but it has to be utilized properly by us. So when we relate to these kind of events and experience, then we will be able to utilize them also properly. Now, having said that, this is like when we do this kind of simplified physical exercise, meditation, introspection, and Kayakalpa Yoga. So by doing all this for 3 years, can the life be without any further challenges? Or other way, what are the challenges we are facing in following up these practices in our life? So both the points I thought of discussing in this part of this. So when we talk about physical exercises itself, so what are the challenges we are following up the physical exercises? We all know that we learned it is very effective and it is very useful and it will be beneficial to all our body parts and we do that all through our lifetime. But again, what is stopping us from doing it from every day? There could be some occasional lapses, which is at least acceptable. But when we are talking about a long routine practice, some people are not able to do that, even though understanding and learning it properly. So what are the challenges they are facing? Yeah, probably some physical limitation, right? They will be having some kind of physical limitation in doing that exercise, or some other situational change, like some friends change, or place change, or job change, their working hours change. All these, there are some factors people may come up with as a reasons for doing that, right? But again, when we are relating to the main objective, when you wanted to be nuisance free all through our life, this is also one of the main component. The physical body has to be clear and trouble free all through the long span of lifetime. So for that only we learned this, and we know that this is going to help us. But due to this kind of small reasons or excuses, we are putting that as a second priority. So that is what we need to think again and change our thought process. If we want to be nuisance free all through our lifetime, this is also one of our main objective, to do the physical exercises on everyday basis. And then coming to the meditations. So this also, we used to hear many kind of excuses or kind of limitations people have in doing the meditation. Some people used to tell that I was doing it for around 6 months, but I didn't see any kind of change, so I stopped that. Or due to a job change or a situational change, they ending up in not doing that practice anymore. Right? This is what some of us or some of our friends could be facing. So again, these all have to be connected to the main objective, and these have to be overruled by committing or by increasing our mental strength, by considering the long-term objective in our life. And moreover, this satsang, which we are going to have that periodically, right? This is also helping us greatly to the people who are lagging or slipping occasionally in our practices also. So when you join in one of the practice, when the points are re-emphasized or when it is being discussed as a group, and when we are seeing others experience, so that could be motivating to start the practice again. So we have to maintain that energy all through our life by understanding the real purpose of this typical practice which is given through our system. And again, next one is the social harmony, because we could do the physical exercise is being done by us within our home, so it is on our control. I'm doing it regularly. And the meditations, it is my own time, it is fixed and being done. But still, there are some challenges faced due to the problem from others, right? Because everyone is not doing meditation, so problem from others. So how to control others or how to influence others? Is that possible? So that is also being done through our practices in gradual manner. And you do introspection and all the other philosophical explanations are understood, like we have to adopt those decisions, whatever made, along with our meditational strengthened mind. So we will be gradually transforming to a next level in the spiritual journey. So when you are uplifting your status, automatically these things will be changing. Socially, you will be seen as a different personality, and the friends around us also will be impressed and on the changes what is seen on you, and probably they will be adopting the practices also. So whatever the changes we are looking for, it will be gradually happening in its own way. So only thing, the consistent practice or efforts to be put by us, then the social situation or the family members and neighbors, friends, colleagues, all these factors will be gradually changing. So again, that could be depends on the quality of the imprints which we have. So the time factor could be different for different persons. but it is possible. So by having that strong mindset within us, we will be able to progress further. That is what thought of mentioning through this part also. And one more point I wanted to mention, along with our practice in the philosophical explanation, our Guruji is explaining way how to remove the imprints. When we talk about the purification of our genetic center, there are some three kind of techniques given by our Maharishi to remove the imprints. Of course, the meditations, as we all know, different set of meditations are removing different set of imprints, right? When we do Agna meditation, we are getting rid of our Agamya karma. Agamya karma, whatever is going to be done by us, is being purified by doing the Agna meditation. And the Turiya meditation supports with the Prarabdha karma, removing the Prarabdha karma set of imprints, and the Turiyatita meditation, which is being meditated by mingling us with the Almighty, that is removing the Sanjita karma part also. Even though this is being done on regular basis, along with that introspection, philosophical explanation, what we heard from our Guru is there are some kind of techniques available to remove our sin imprints also, which are the basis for all the nuisance we go through in our life, right? So those are listed as like people who have attended the introspection level 2 practices or the other kind of process, you might have heard about this sin imprints removal, right? There are three techniques, which is starting with the expiation and superimposition and dissolution. These are the three techniques given by our Guru. So which exactly means, in a way, expiation, when we talk about that, it is like doing more and more. Once we have done something and we realize we have done and acquired the sin imprint, we need to do more and more noble deeds, positive things, and asking for forgiveness mentally or if possible physically to the same person, then it will be the quality of imprint will change, and that will be reducing the effect which is going to be coming in our life as a nuisance, right? So this is one kind of technique. And the second technique is called as superimposition. Superimposition is also by filling up with all kind of positive deeds. Like when we have done one mistake, so before it come out, before it gets reactivated from our genetic center, we are filling that with numerous number of positive deeds. So that will be suppressing that negative imprint from manifesting itself. So that is what the second technique talks about. The third one is like a dissolution, is connecting us with the divinity and diluting our level of sin imprints. That is also being done through our meditations, right? So these three techniques also to be related when we are talking about managing the nuisance in our life. So by doing all these practices, definitely it is possible to move our life towards trouble-free state. Okay, so we have all kind of tools and we all have the understanding. So what needs to be done now by all of us? So there are two main factors which is still could be stopping us from putting it into the practice, right? That is also termed by our Guru, like ignorance or negligence. So these have to be removed by maintaining the constant awareness and doing our duty in all situations with the consistent way of practicing all our practices, what is learned by us. So definitely this will be moving us towards the progressive stage in our life. Okay, as usual, I wanted to quote one of Maharishi's poem here before we conclude. Again, as usual, this drives today's discussion topic. So, is it not a fact that you seek happiness in life? And if so, should you not set the goal clear and proceed towards it along the proper path? You cannot be without, nor should you overindulge in the 5 cardinal factors, namely food, work, sleep, sex, and thought force. The guidelines for you here are limit and method in every enjoyment pertaining to the world. Follow the golden mean and tackle the tasks of life in cheer and fortitude and constant awareness. Peace and happiness would then come to stay, and you would stand liberated from fear of any kind. So again, kind of mentioning this poem drives me to come up with this topic of discussion today. And I hope all the points, whatever we talked so far, is covered in this poem as an extract. And every word in this poem is giving the inner meaning on all our practices. And by consistently practicing the simplified Kundalini Yoga practices, along with the limit and method, and with the constant awareness, you all will be able to achieve a nuisance-free life within a short time. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you. Thanks for listening.